Welcome and welcome back to Keeping It Positive Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Ashley.
I'm Cameron. Now, today's episode, we're doing things a little bit differently. So today, we'll be talking about 20 lessons that we've learned in our early 20s. So I'll give you guys 10 and Ashley will give you 10. But before we start out on our episode today, let's have Ashley do our unpopular opinion.
Alrighty. So today's unpopular opinion, it is, I believe that the best way to eat fries is with some ice cream. What do you think about that?
I can agree with that. I don't like to do it too much because I feel like sometimes it makes me look like fat.
Oh no, I do it all the time. I love it. Especially like a cookout milkshake. Oh my gosh. A cookout milkshake, like a nice little Oreo milkshake with some French fries.
Chick-fil-A?
A Chick-fil-A milkshake with some something Wendy's. Wendy's like flurry.
Or Frosty.
Frosty, that's what it's called. Yeah, Wendy's Frosty. I get the chocolate Frosty, the vanilla Frosty, and have some fries with it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like that perfect combination of sweet
like
and salty
that
and
you
hot.
can't. Yeah, that's something you can't not like.
Exactly.
You know?
If you don't like it, good for you. But I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're kind of gonna do a back and forth. So I'll do one, and then Ashley will do one. But so I'll start us off. So my first lesson that I learned in my early 20s is don't be in a rush to get to where you want to be. Like, stop and enjoy the moment, stay in the present, and focus on the now. So that's about something that I've been trying to do for the last probably like couple years or so. It's like, you know, my mom would tell me all the time, like, just kind of stay present, like wherever you go, just be present in that moment, and don't be so focused on like the future, because like when you're in the now and you're so focused on what's happening right now, the future does not exist. You know, at any given point in time, the past and the future do not exist. You know what I mean? They should not exist. They only exist in your mind if you think about them. So that's why I try to reframe and rewire my brain to think like that, instead of thinking like, oh, I'm always thinking about what's the next thing. I still have to do this. I have this on my plate and have to handle X, Y, Z. Like, that stresses me out when I do that. So I think the more I stay in the present, the more I just focus on what's happening now and enjoy the present moment, I can be more happy, be more grateful.
That's very, very true, because sometimes you forget about that. You think about all the things that you're not doing or that you want to do, and it's like, no, just stay right here. Stay like, you're good right here. My first one is, it is okay not to know. And I feel like I remind myself that on a daily basis, because I still don't know what I want to do or what I want my life to look like, or like even what path I'm going down. But like, we're not supposed to know. Like, some people have an idea, but even a lot of times those ideas get changed when you get on your path and you realize, oh, like, I thought I wanted my life to look like this, but because I got introduced to this right here, now I want to go down this path right here. So I really feel like it's important to remember, like, not knowing is okay. It's normal. Like, a lot more people don't know what they doing than do know. And at the end of the day, the people who always look like they're put together, who are like really don't know anything for real. Because if everybody knew everything, then it's like, what would life be? There wouldn't be no trials and tribulations. There wouldn't be no ups and downs. And the ups and downs is what makes you a better person.
I think it goes along with like just not, your journey. Knowing that your journey is your journey, and it's not anybody else's journey. So you're supposed to, you're supposed to recognize things and like come to those realizations when you're supposed to realize them. So once you do, it's like, okay, that was the right time for you to know that. That was the right time for you to quit your job. That was the right time for you to make that career move. That was the right time for you to start saving, X amount, whatever the case may be. Like, those, knowing that your journey is your own, and nobody can take that away from you. And if somebody judges you for that, that's on them. That's on them.
I can't wait till I get to that moment where I can share my story. Like, I went through this. Because right now I'm like, don't know what's going on, but we vibing.
Yeah, I like that one. So another one I have is always be authentically you. Don't let the world or people put you into the box or into a box. So I resonate with this one a lot. I just came up with this one off the top of my head because I feel like I've always been the type of person where I've always been authentically me. And I've never had to even question, like, thinking about trying to be like someone else. You know what I mean? I've always been, I like the things that I like. I like the type of music I like. I like the vibe I'm on. Things I like and enjoy to do. It might differ from what a lot of other people like to do or enjoy to do. I'm a very adventurous person, so I like to be outside a lot. I like to hike. I outdoor activities. I like to try new things. I don't like to limit myself at all. I like to always keep an open mind, and that's always how I've been, and that's always how I will be. So I like that, just telling everybody that you should just always be you. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for if you want to wear a skirt with sneakers. You know what I mean? Don't let anybody make you feel bad for liking alternative music. If that's what you like, then like what you like. And don't let anybody make you feel bad for that, because that's on them. And just be you.
Because you being you is what makes the world better at the end of the day. Like, we need you.
Yeah.
Everybody was put here for a reason and for a season and for something. So if you're not yourself, then it's like you're not doing your goal. You're not spreading the joy. You're not spreading the love. You're not spreading what you're supposed to be spreading out into the world. So
the world needs you for like who you are. And you gotta, if you're authentically you, that's the only thing that you can do. And I think that the world will be much better with knowing that you are who you are. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses, be like anybody else, because there's no one like you. You know, you have your own interests, you have your own story, experiences, all that. So I like that.
That's good. My next one is don't be afraid to try new things, because like your purpose can't find you. Like, you have to like actually be actively seeking it, actively doing something. Now, some people can just sit down and like what they're supposed to do just automatically falls in their lap, or like it's known to them. But a lot of people, and this goes into my other one, like you just have to try things. You can't just be like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, so I'm not doing nothing. That's what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't know what I want to do, but I haven't been trying to do anything to figure it out. So it's like I've learned like you can't do that at all, because then it's like if you don't do anything, then you're not gonna move anywhere. You're not gonna go anywhere. That's like you trying to get to the mountains from here. You don't have the directions, but you just decide to sit in the driveway until the directions find you. Like, the directions aren't gonna just hit on my phone. Like, no, I gotta actually start driving, and I might have to ask somebody along the way, like, hey, how do I get over there to
might need a map.
Exactly, get a map, do something. So that's my next one.
Okay, I like that one. I love that one. I love that one. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so my next one is give yourself a chance to change. Don't be afraid of change. I think that a lot of times we might just get so settled in who we are. You know, you come into like, say like, you know, you want to be in a relationship, and you know, you'll come into the relationship with the mindset of this is who I am. You either accept me or you don't.
Right.
Which is not, you know, that is true in a certain case, but don't be afraid to change. You're going over the span of your life. You're going to have multiple changes. You know, you're going to evolve. Your mindset going to change. The way you think about things will change. Your experiences will build you into you know who you are supposed to be and who you're meant to be. So don't be afraid to take that next step into going and being someone else, or being a better version of yourself. Because that can only make you better. It can only make you more, you know, have a better character, more open-minded, more accepting, more loving, and all that. So don't be afraid to change. You know what I mean? So that kind of goes into like not being afraid of trying new things too.
Yeah, so. Absolutely, that's good. Don't be afraid of change. Period. Point blank. Because change is always good.
And it's inevitable. Like, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, whether you like it or not. Like, so just embrace it.
Yeah. The more you learn, like the more you experience, you're gonna change. Things will change you. Things will change you either way. You know. So
that's good. All right. So my next one is find a routine. I feel like our whole lives we've had a routine, whether we've known it or not known it. Like, you get up, you go to school, you come home, you do homework, you go to extracurriculars. When you're in college, you get up, you go to class, you go back to your dorm room. Either if you do nothing, but you have homework. Like, you have certain things that you're always doing. But then when you graduate, it's like you can literally do whatever you want to do. And you have to find a routine so you don't let yourself like not get behind, but just be okay with where you're at. And I feel like that's really important, because if you don't have a routine, then sometimes you can just sit in your own self-pity, self-sorrow.
That's how you kind of get
like,
in that mindset.
Exactly. That's how you get in that mindset of getting down on yourself. And it's like, that's not fun at all. So you need to do things consistently to keep yourself busy, keep your mind busy, and just grow.
That's literally like you're speaking to a choir. Because my mom, like, literally, like, I've had multiple conversations with, like, my parents and stuff. But specifically, like, my mom, she would, like, come and tell me, like, Cameron, you just, because the more I would be, like, the more I was, like, it's not sad, but just, like, in the feeling of, like, kind of self-pity, like you said, and just not feeling good about myself and where I'm at in life and all that type of stuff. Kind of, the more I sit in that space, like, she would notice, and she'd be like, you know, what's going on? I'd be like, you know, I'm kind of just feeling, like, under the weather, having a little anxiety, like, worrying, stressing about what's next, and, you know, what's my next steps, am I taking all this stuff? and she would just kind of tell me like, you need to do something. You need to go outside. You need to go like, explore. Maybe go to some like, even if it's not like career wise, like just be out, go to art museums.
Yeah.
Go to events they may be having, like, where you're living, like just kind of explore and just kind of get yourself out there to meet other people, because that's the personality I have, and the more that I did that, the more that I felt like I was doing something, and it felt like more than just me just sitting in the house all day or kind of wallowing in that.
Right.
Why am I not not feeling good enough? That imposter syndrome. That's
and that also
that would defeat you.
So. That anxiety, it really makes you feel like you're sick or something like that. But it's like, you're not. You just need to get up and get moving, like get your body moving, because we were not made to lay in the bed all day.
Yeah.
We were not made to lay in the bed for months on end. Like, and it's okay to do it sometimes, because sometimes it's needed. Sometimes your body needs to rest. Sometimes you need that rejuvenation period. But then you get to a point where it's like you know yourself, your own body. So it's like when you get to that point that okay, maybe I need to get up to help make myself feel better. Like, you got to do that.
Yeah,
and it is hard though, because there's a couple of times I've been like just laying down.
That's how like, people can start to get like depressed and stuff like that, because the more you sit in those feelings of sadness, the more you start feeling like, well, I'm never gonna. It's a deeper and deeper hole.
Then you gotta pull yourself out of it.
Pull yourself out. It's hard, man. It's hard, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it. It definitely takes a lot mentally, but you gotta do it. It's definitely something you gotta do. But the more you kind of sit in those feelings, the more sad you'll feel. And so, like my mama said, you gotta put yourself out there, even if it's just going to the park, even if it's just like making a video, and or even if it's just going over a friend's house. It can be something as simple as
you can go outside for like just walk up and down your steps, do something.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be something like related to your career or anything like that. It can be something just simple as just doing something that you like to do. Doing something that is fun for you, something that you enjoy. Just doing something where you're going out and actually using your mind or your body in some type of way. But yes. Okay, my next one is this one. Surround yourself with friends who love you for who you are and who generally want the best for you. Yes. Not the ones who tear you down or don't support you or use you. So I think it's very important to have people around you that actually genuinely like love you, and your friends are really like an extension of your family. You know what I mean? And for me personally, I got the pick of the litter. I won the lottery, and when it comes to friends, so I really got some good people around me that really support me and care about me as a person, rather than just care about things I can do for them. Right. They actually care about like my well-being and how I feel and all that stuff. So I think it's just really important to, quality over quantity. Over quantity. You know what I mean? So even though people be seeing those little big friend groups and stuff like that.
That's nice and all. It's nice aesthetic. It's a nice look. But then sometimes it's like, but are all of you like locked in? Are all of you do anything for each other? Or all of you help each other when you're down? Like
so just make sure that you're just kind of keeping good people around you. People that that will support you and love you for you, and will stick by you through anything, through thick and thin. Because a lot of people can stick with you when things are good, like you going to parties and clubs and you doing good in your career. But what happens when like you lose your job? What happens when like you don't have nowhere to turn? What happens when you have no other options, and you need somebody to pull you up or like just lift you up?
What happens when you had a bad day at school and you're crying? Like what they gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So those are I feel like for me, a real friend is someone who like holds you down when things aren't good. Anybody can be good there. They can be with you when things are good, but when things are bad and you're going through a tough time or rough patch, whatever the case may be, that's when you need people to be with you, that can sit down in the dirt with you. I think that's a true friend to me. Somebody that can sit down in the dirt and be like, I'm in the hole, but that can come down. Somebody can come down there and sit down with me and help us dig them out, or dig me out.
And those who are real, because you need some real friends. Like I want you to tell me how it is. If I'm doing something dumb, I want you to be like, Ashley, come on now. Like, and a real friend does not lie to you. It's gonna tell you when you look crazy too. Yeah. We do that all the time with each other. I'll be like, Cameron, now, did you really think like? And she'd be like, Ashley, and I'd be like, yeah, that's true.
I'm like, girl, what?
And your friends are also like an extension of you. Like the people who you surround yourself with, it's like a mirror of like how you are as a person. Like the people who you're around, who you hang out with, that's how other people are gonna perceive you. So you got to make sure the people that you hang around is like how you want to be perceived as well.
For sure. The birds of a feather flock together.
Amen. That's what they say.
They say.
Yeah. All right, my next one, it kind of like relates to what Cameron just said, which is actually hilarious because we didn't talk about these before we did it. We just each picked our own 10. But my next one is everyone you meet is not meant to be in your life forever. And I feel like that goes into your friends and like relationships in general, because you meet people every day, but not everyone you meet is meant to be in your life, your friend, your associate, your acquaintance, your boo thing, your whatever they may be to you. Not everyone is going to be there forever. Now, you're going to have those ride or dies that are going to be with you for life until you go on to the other side. But it's okay to lose people. It's okay to have to let people go. It's okay to not like be physically or emotionally connected to somebody forever. Because at the end of the day, like we grow, we go on different paths, but just because you go on a different path also does not mean you still don't care about each other either. And I've learned that. I feel like that's an important thing to remember.
I think this is one of them that I have too, I think.
Right now. Now we kind of think alike.
What's going on? Let's see. Okay, so another one that I have says, this is not related to the one you just said, but it says things are bound to stress you out. Life is bound to have ups and downs. Some things are out of your control, but focus on your reaction and how you recover from hard times rather than the situation at hand. So focus on your reaction and recovery rather than just being like having that oh, this is always stressing me out. I'm in a bad time, or you're going through a rough patch, or whatever the case may be. Focus more so on how you're gonna bounce back from it, which will kind of keep you in like the positive space, more optimistic space. Like things, knowing things that if something's bad right now, like it can only go up from here. If you're in a bad time, it can only get better. So keeping that ideology in your mind will help you stay in a more optimistic, positive space, and will help you know that this is just a downtime right now, but we up, we going up.
Because you know what I mean? You control your own thoughts. You control how you react. You control you. Yeah. So that's the only thing we can control is ourselves.
Yeah, the only thing we can the only thing you can control is yourself. So just kind of always be mindful of that, and focus on recovering from something bad happens, and even whether that's emotional, financial, mental. Focus on the recovery, not the situation at hand, because life is going to throw you many. It's not just going to be one or two. Like, it's going to be like,
it can be
back to back. It can just be like multiple things like that can happen throughout your life. So don't let like one thing get you down. You know what I mean? Life is a journey. It's not.
Life is a highway.
If it was easy, everybody would be like, oh, like But
yeah, that's facts. Life is a highway, and I'm gonna ride it all night long. All right. The next one I have is reach out to people you love. I feel like a lot of times we forget like to text or call or just like do something to show people that you love or that are in your lives, or that even if you haven't talked to them in a while, that you're still thinking about them, that you care about them. Because a simple hey, how are you doing? Or I was thinking about you, I hope all is well, goes a long way. When people I like used to talk to all the time a couple of years ago just text me randomly, I'm like, oh, like that, it really just makes your day go better. It makes you feel much better. Even family members, like I've called a couple of my family members randomly sometimes, and they're like, I really appreciate that, because it's like when somebody else thinks of you to give you a call, it just boosts your energy and your adrenaline and everything, and it just makes your day go better. So exactly. So just reach out to people randomly just to give them a call.
I do that with my grandparents a lot, because they're old, and you just never know. So it's like I always get to like let me just reach out to them, make sure like they're good, and just let them know I'm thinking about them and I love them. You know what I mean? And like you said, a little goes a long way. It's a phone call. It's just a phone call, but
it takes nothing out of your day.
Like it takes 5 seconds.
Text.
It can even be a text to someone like if you're closer. You know what I mean? Like, it can even be a text like, I'm just thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. Like, have a good day. You never know, you guys. Never know. So my next one is, I saw a video about this the other day, but it says the main relationship that you should always focus on and pour the most into is the one you have with yourself. Make sure you forgive yourself and don't be so hard on yourself.
Yes.
I think that that's one that I struggle with, because I'm very I am very hard on myself. Probably more than I need to be sometimes, and I don't really know where it comes from. I think I just like that. So if I make a mistake or something like that, I'll be like really, really hard on myself, and that even with my like relationships, friendships, and stuff like that. Like if I make a mistake, I'll be really hard on myself, and it will even though that person probably will have forgave me, but whatever happened, I won't forgive myself. It would take me longer to forgive myself, and I think that's something that people don't really talk about. But you have to forgive yourself, for making those mistakes or for doing the wrong thing or whatever. Like, you have to forgive yourself and work on growing your relationship with yourself. Spend time alone. That's something that I don't do a whole lot of. I used to do a lot more when I was in school, but I like spending time alone sometimes with myself, just getting to know myself and what I like, and just being alone sometimes, alone with your thoughts. It'll teach you to have a better relationship with yourself and your mind and your thoughts and the way you perceive things and your own personal being. So I think that's definitely, I like that.
All right, my next one is everyone feels anxiety about what's next, and I feel like that just is what it is. Like everyone feels anxiety, everyone's stressed, everyone doesn't know like what life's gonna hold in 5 years from now. So it's okay. Like, it's okay. That's all I gotta say for that one.
That about sums up the whole podcast. Honestly. That sums up the whole podcast. Like, anxiety and sadness sometimes that hits everybody. That's going to hit everybody. You know what I mean? Especially this time.
At one point in your life, yeah.
Exactly. So, especially at this time when we're so much change is happening, but also so much like we don't know, even by ourselves. There's so much we don't know. You know what I mean? You have yet to
figure out. Yeah.
So like, but yeah, don't fret. Don't fret, young one.
But it's okay. It is okay.
Yeah.
To feel like it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So my next one kind of ties into one you said earlier, and about not letting go, but so I don't know why. So mine says learn to master detachment. So detachment of people, things, and like ideologies or like mindset. So learn to master detachment kind of means don't be so set in stone that if somebody comes to your life that they have to stay forever. Because like like I said earlier, we're all changing, we're always evolving, we're always learning new things and experiencing new things. So don't always expect every single person you come into contact to, whether that's a stranger, like somebody you like, somebody, your friend, whatever it may be, don't expect them to always stay forever because people are changing too. They're evolving. They're on their own journey. So you might come into contact with them and then be friends with this amount and then leave. So maybe some people come into contact because you need to learn a lesson. You know what I mean? And then you leave or whatever case may be. Learn to master detachment. So don't get attached to the person or object. It can be an object too. It can be something like, a physical thing too. So learn to master not becoming so attached to things where you can't let things go. Because at the end of the day, people, mindsets, physical things, they come and they go. But when you're done on this earth, you left with you, and that's the only thing that you left with. You know what I mean? So focus on those things. I like to focus on like experiences, memories, things like that, rather than just being like I need to hold on to you. Whatever we had was what we had. You know what I mean? For that time being. And that's what I needed, whether it was to learn a lesson, whether it was just to have a good time.
You gotta know what they're here for.
Yeah.
And be okay with
them.
You might meet each other like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, or never again. But at the end of the day, you always gonna have your memories. You're always gonna have the times you spent. Like no matter if it was a friend, a boo thing, whatever the person was like to you, it's okay because you're gonna see them again eventually.
Exactly. Eventually. You will. So
that's good. All right, my next one is clean your room and make your bed. Because I'm working on this one. And recently I just cleaned my room. Right now, it's looking good. It's looking, I sleep with my closet door open just so I can see how organized it is because I just feel so proud. But like that adrenaline that you get, it's just a feeling that you get when you have your room clean and when your bed is made in the morning. When you get back, it's like, dang, like I don't have anything to do in my room. Like I can just really be peaceful, be a zen, and in a space that's clean. And it really just helps pick up your energy and pick up your mood. And I feel like that's really important, especially when there's so many things going on in the world that you can't control. Or you might be feeling so many different feelings in your own body and your own soul, like that you can't control, or your unknowingness. But this is like one thing that you can actually control. And so if it makes you feel good, do it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Do it. I like that one. Okay, so my next one is make the most of your life. Find happiness in everyday life right now. Don't wait. So like some people like to put off their happiness Like, I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I find a man. You know, I'll be happy when I get that career I want. You know, I'll be happy when I make X amount of money. And that's, you know, it's okay to have goals. It's great to have goals. It's great to have faith. It's great to have, you know, hard work. It's great to have all those things, like just all those things. But don't let having those goals and having those implications or like goals or whatever you want to do in place let you view like I can only be happy when those things are accomplished. Because what if you never accomplish those things? You know what I mean? That's not saying like you won't, but don't put off your happiness for something that is in the future. You know, when you can be in the present moment right now and be appreciative of everything that you have and be happy, you know, where you're at. You know what I mean? You always have goals, always have things that you want. That's a great thing. You know, always want better for yourself. This is not saying don't, you know, stop where you are, you know, you're okay with making, you know, whatever you meant. Always shoot for the moon, always shoot for the stars. But don't let that stop you from being happy in your present moment, because a lot of people, you know, be grateful for what you have. Some people may not have what you have. So just allow yourself to be happy in this moment. Like I said again, like the present moment is the only one that exists right now, in this time right now. So enjoy that. And I feel like once you start enjoying more of the present moment, everything, you'll be happy way more often than you would just putting yourself, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I work at this company. I'll be happy when, you know, I have kids. Like don't try to put off your happiness. Right. Because then you will end up just, what if that never happens? And then, you know what I mean?
Period. So. My next one is read. Just read. Like just read. Because honestly, truly, our whole lives we've been reading, but it's not stuff that you really wanted to read sometimes because it's for schoolwork. And I recently found a passion for just reading random books. I love fiction books. I'm trying to get more into nonfiction because like those teach you things, help expand my mind, help like me learn new topics that I really didn't really know before. And it's just important for your personal development and just in general, just so you can be knowledgeable what's going on around in the world around you. So just read. It doesn't hurt nothing. And now you can read what you want to read 100% of the time.
I like that. Or if you don't want to read, you can do audiobooks.
Exactly. There's so many different things. You can listen to it, but that's still going to help your mind. Exactly.
Make sure you open them books. Read a word or two. Look at the view.
Okay. We're down to our last two now.
Well, last two? Maybe I'll put an extra one here. Okay. So, I've done, my next one is, it's okay to say no. Ashley gave me this one because, yeah. So.
Because it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to say no. I actually live this a lot because I always try to make sure everybody's good.
People please.
Yeah, people please. I always try to make sure everybody's good, and I'll do that sometimes even before I'll make sure I'm good. You know, sometimes, you know, that's something I have to get over. That's something I'm working on it. I'm working on becoming better.
She is becoming better at it.
Yeah,
I know that.
So I think it's okay to say no sometimes. It's hard. It might be hard for some people, but it's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You can deny some things if you don't want to do, or if you're just not, you know, that's not something that you want to do. You're not comfortable with it. It's okay.
Because you got to put you first.
Yeah.
I got to put me first.
TikTok. You're crazy.
All right, so this is my last one, and it just reads, the thing you have been wanting to do, just do it. Because at the end of the day, YOLO, you only live once, and you might as well just, if it got put in your heart, your mind to do, start it. Because what are you waiting on? Like with this, especially like with this podcast, it got put in our hearts. Honestly, I wanted to do it like last year, but I just put it off. And finally I was texting Cameron, I was like, bro, like, you want to come to my house tomorrow? And she was like, yeah. And we literally just did it out of nowhere. We went to one of our friends' photo shoots that day, and she was like, okay, I'm coming over. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it was just randomly. So we did it that day. We literally did that day. I texted her the night before, and I was like, bruh, like, let's just do it.
But we had been talking about it before.
We had, but like you know how sometimes you be like talking about it, and I was talking about Gianna, like Bria, like not Bria, Ashanti and Jess. Like we went to you saw that picture that we did.
Yeah. I saw that.
Gonna do it, and I was like, okay, let's do it, and then we did. It just blew apart, and then finally I was like, you know what? Like we're actually gonna do it. Like sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger and just go. Mm-hmm. And we had no plan. We had no episode. We just got on we came to my house. We sat down on this couch, pulled out the camera, had some horrible lighting, and we just started recording. And when I tell y'all, we took like 10,000 takes for the first one.
Yeah, that was hard. That first one was tough.
We could not get it together.
We were messing up the words.
We just did it. And honestly, like this has really been one of like the best things this is one of the things I look forward to in the week. Mm-hmm. It's just filming these episodes with Cameron because we just did it.
It's like one thing that I feel like I can say that I accomplished.
Yes.
Like I some weeks y'all know as women, some weeks are a little they're not the best. But when I feel like I come in here, I feel like I'm at least, giving people my input, putting my voice out, putting my energy out, and just giving people what I can give to this world as much as I can.
And even if it doesn't help anybody, even if nobody sees this, like at least I can watch it back.
It's helping me.
It's helping me, exactly. Like I can look at it and be like, dang, like that was some good advice for real. Like, because sometimes you say things and you don't do it. But then it's like when you listen to yourself say it, it's like it's something different about it. It's like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I do this sometimes, but I'm not consistent with it all the time. Because a lot of stuff I say, like, I'm not consistent with it all the time, but I'm consistently working to be consistent. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the most important thing is to work. Yeah. And this podcast, trying to work on, like, being more consistent and being more, like, doing things I'm going to say I'm going to do. Like, we've been doing it once a week. Yeah. Every week, we've been putting it out. And I'm proud of us. Okay.
Period.
So just do it.
Period. So, next one. Oh, do what you love at all times. Do what you love at all times, and always just be grateful. So it's kind of 2 in 1. But the first part, do what you love at all times, it kind of goes into what I said earlier about being happy and being happy in the present moment. So just do what you love. I know for me, I love to paint. I love to be creative. That's like how my mind always works. Like my mind always works in like a creative way. Mm-hmm. So what can I create? What kind of ideas can I, mesh together? That's just how my brain works. So that's something that I do that I know makes me happy and has made me happy for years now. Whatever, I always like taking classes and just trying new ideas out, trying different forms of painting and art and just different things. So I think that's what makes me happy the most in the world. So I just try to do that as much as I can, but just do what you love, whatever that is that you love to do, whether that's like being creative like me or making art, or if that's, making TikToks, like you like making content, putting it out, whether it's reading books, whether it's running, being active, watching your favorite sports or doing your favorite sports, whatever that may be to you, do what you love at all times, because, we don't know how long we're here for, so just do things that make you happy, because, like, we don't know where we're gonna go, so
you gotta just do it.
And be grateful is just being grateful. So I think the more grateful you are, the more happy you be. And that's just for me, or I don't know if it's across the board, but for me, the more grateful I am, then the more happy I am.
Right. And for the little things too, like be grateful you woke up this morning. Like that's a big one, because not everybody had the opportunity to do that. Be grateful that you have shoes on your feet. Be grateful that you have a car to drive if you have one. Be grateful that you have I'd
be so grateful. Sometimes when I have like a good meal, I'll be so grateful that I had I have a full belly tonight. Some people don't have full bellies tonight.
Exactly. So just be grateful.
Yeah, just be grateful for everything, like everything. Because the more grateful you are, I swear, the more happy and content you'll be. You'll be like, I can't believe I'm lucky. I'm grateful. I'm so lucky to be having this meal. I'm so lucky to have shoes on my feet. You know what I mean? I'm so blessed and highly favored, just in every way possible, and I feel so content, like, knowing that.
And I feel like sometimes we forget about that because we're in such a materialistic era, like, in the world, people, like, look at things so much, but it's like, just be grateful for what you have and where you're at. Yeah, I love that one.
You won't feel the need to have the new, have the new things, I know it's wrong to have new things, but you won't always feel the need to have them, because you'll just be happy and content where you are, so.
That's a good one to end with. Yes. All right, well, now it's time for our quote of the day, and Cameron's going to give that to us today.
Okay. So our quote of the day is, you're going to go through tough times. That's life. But I say nothing happens to you. It happens for you. See the positive in negative events. That was from Joel Osteen. So, this podcast was birthed out of us trying to keep it positive, We're always trying to make sure that we're seeing the glass half full instead of half empty, staying optimistic when we can. And I think that's just a main thing that we need to focus on, is being in our 20s with so much going on. Sometimes it can get out of hand. We can start to fall off and just not be happy in general. You know what I mean? So just always try to look at things in a positive light. Always try to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And know that if you're going through, like I said, if you're going through a hard time or just a downtime, like, you're gonna go, the only way you can go is up. And
right, and it's okay to feel those feelings, to be down, to get yourself, like, keeping it positive. It does not mean like being naively positive. Like, no, like, you need to feel that still, but then also remember there comes a point in time where you do need to keep it positive, so you can keep on living your life and doing what you're here to. You're being called here to do. Yeah,
and keeping it positive is just like thinking, knowing that, like, okay, bad times will come. Like, bad times. Good is good and bad times. That's what life is. Life is a completion.
But in the bad is where you find the good.
Yeah. In the bad, that's why I said, if you're in the bad, keep it positive. So,
because you're gonna get through it.
You guys got it.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in with us today, and we hope that this podcast has inspired you to keep it positive.